Good evening. It is Sunday evening, May 11th. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. This is your podcaster, weather enthusiast Simcha Lefton. We have some super exciting stuff to speak about for this upcoming week. We're really speaking about all different types of hazards happening later on in the week, especially Thursday for the Midwest. This is where a widespread severe weather outbreak is possible, even becoming more likely as we go into time. Even a couple of tornadoes are possible Thursday afternoon. But that's not the new thing over here. That's nothing new, and the fire weather risk is also something we have to discuss. But it's really the heat wave. This is the season's first major heat wave, which will be impacting especially portions in Texas because it's an extended spell of summer heat. But temperatures, now get this, in the northern plains will be approaching, flirting with 100 degrees for Monday and Tuesday afternoon in some of those cities. Record highs expected across portions of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. The National Weather Service tells us that 100-degree heat is what the temperatures are going to be coming very close to and approaching, and they make mention of the triple-digit. Actual forecast highs, the European computer model puts Phillips, South Dakota at 98 degrees. Many of those other hot cities, the hottest of the cities, ranging around 96, some areas perhaps up to 98. It would not be impossible to rule out a 100-degree reading here and there. One of the reasons why it's so hot over there is due to this heat dome. It's a high-pressure ridge developing in the south. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But that in combination with downslope winds off the Black Hills for portions near Rapid City will be responsible for producing heat across western South Dakota, coming very close to 100 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. This is record heat for many locations around there. Minneapolis, Minnesota will be coming very close to 90 degrees, but nothing near 100 at all. Now, let's go back and speak about the heat dome for just a moment. So heat domes are measured, high pressure ridge are measured in geographical heights in decimeters. So whenever you have 588 decimeter geographical height heat dome, that is pretty much the criteria of an intense heat wave developing here in the middle part of the country. Well, this week, so there are plenty of indicators when you look at the forecast discussions from various national weather services. It's pretty clear that the geographical heights will be ranging anywhere from 588 to 590 decimeter at its peak. But when you look at the New Orleans, Louisiana National Weather Service, they tell us that actually there's a good chance 593 decimeter heat dome is what's actually going to be forming over in the Gulf of Mexico. This pushes temperatures really hot. Going into Texas, we're talking about highs going into the 100 and teens. Over areas of Texas, Rio Grande Village, Texas, temperatures going into the mid-100 and teens. San Antonio, Texas, just brutal heat, temperatures in the mid and upper 100s. And Corpus Christi, Texas, the humidity is just skyrocketing. Dew points approaching 77 degrees. Not approaching, dew points at 77 degrees later on this week. Forecast highs in at least the low 90s, pushing those heat indices above 105. Some locations could see heat indices of 110 degrees. St. Louis, Missouri looks like a classic heat and humidity for Wednesday, especially Thursday afternoon as high temperatures go into the low 90s with the high humidity heat index forecasted to be around 100 degrees. Chicago, it's the lake breeze that creates the doubts in that forecast, but areas further inland likely to approach, even hit 90 degrees with high humidity. That's areas further inland from the Chicago area. Now, when you get into the Thursday afternoon time frame, into Thursday night, that's when the focus becomes a severe weather setup here in the Midwest. And here's one of the reasons why. We have a triple point developing perhaps over northeast Missouri, portions of Iowa and Illinois. Strong low pressure system develops over and moves into the upper Midwest. 29.1 to 29.2 will be that barometric pressure, possibly even lower than 29.1. But that collides with the dry line and the humid hot air. The combination of those three, the areas that gets hit with those three, probably an area like Davenport, Iowa, Places around there, eastern Iowa, maybe western, right along that Mississippi River border of Illinois and Iowa. Those places, that's likely going to be where the highest risk would exist for any severe weather or tornadoes as we work our way into Thursday afternoon. As usual, the severe weather risk then works its way east, and usually they tend to weaken a little bit as it moves towards the Chicago area later in the day. Fire weather hazards are really going to be intense, especially when you work your way west of the dry line, portions of Topeka, Kansas, western Oklahoma, western Texas, western Nebraska, all those areas looking at very severe weather conditions for fire, strong winds. The National Weather Service is issuing red flag warnings and fire weather watches, red flag watches, fire weather watches for portions of the U.S. Currently, we do have some blowing dust storms, reducing visibility to 0 over portions of this country. You can look at the National Weather Service webpage for more information regarding that. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Montana. We have a severe thunderstorm watch, which is impacting portions of North Dakota, Montana, and Idaho area. Places around there, that's where we also have some severe thunderstorm popping up. When you go down into the New Orleans, Louisiana, that National Weather Service tells us about a cold core low pressure system, non-tropical, slowly pulling away from the area, bringing its cooler conditions, rain, all of that moves away from the area, and it's going to be replaced by a heat wave, an extended spell of miserably hot and humid conditions headed into New Orleans, Louisiana, as dew points rise into the mid-70s. You could even find sources with forecasting a dew point of 80, but that's so out of the climatologically, that's just not really part of the climate here, especially for the month of May here in the United States. It's not like we're on the Persian Gulf or anything. So forecasted dew points are more realistic, going well into the 70s, but the temperature of 90 degrees pushing the heat indices again into the hundreds. Brutal heat. We do have the wet bulb temperatures going into the low 80s this week for portions of Texas, portions of the Gulf Coast, right around there. And this is the first major heat wave of the season. So that makes an extra danger for some locations, especially out in Texas. You can get specific details regarding the cities, the specific dangers, and how to stay safe, all from the National Weather Service website. Again, this is your weather enthusiast, especially for hot weather, Simcha Lefton, podcaster, and you're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. I wish everybody a wonderful week.